So today we are starting the cosmetics test for the sea moss that we've been working on all month. And also it's May the 1st, so it's a new month, but that's okay. We kind of do things as we can around here. And this year has been cuckoo bananas. Also, it's May 1st and it was 38 degrees this morning when I woke up. So yay, that's awesome. Yep. For sure. I will tell you more about the cosmetics that we are going to be putting sea moss into this week and all the formulations we are going to test in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for the cosmetics testing of the sea moss month thing, challenge, all the jazz. And we are going to be starting out with kind of an unlikely for cosmetics, and the reason why we're doing this is because I have been asked this a whole bunch, and I have been asked whether or not you could incorporate sea moss in powdered form into a lotion bar. And for me, I immediately went, you can, there's no reason that you couldn't, but I don't think it would be effective. And so therefore, why would you? But considering I didn't actually have any powdered sea moss, I decided to go ahead and use the gel that we've been working on because I finally got a gel, and put it into a lotion bar formulation and talk about kind of both within this video. The powdered version as well as the gel version. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar, one of the big benefits of a lotion bar over a liquid lotion is that it is imparting essentially just the straight oils and butters, all of the beautiful moisturizing ingredients that we love in a lotion. So our shea butters, our avocado oils, our hemp seed oils, etc., in solid form, eliminating the water in totality. And so it's like a body butter, but it doesn't require any sort of packaging necessarily. So it's good for the environment, all the jazz. And again, you're eliminating the water, which a lot of people kind of see as filler. So the lotion bars themselves, because there's no water inside of them, putting something like a sea moss gel in is going to also be incorporating water. And so while normally you do not need a preservative for a lotion bar, in this instance, because we are putting the sea moss gel inside of it, we do need a preservative. And so that's what we are going to be talking about today, focusing on while I make and change up the formulation of my standard lotion bars to accommodate for the sea moss gel, show you how I incorporate it, and talk about the benefit of doing it this way if there is one, and why you definitely need a preservative if you're going to be doing a sea moss gel into a lotion bar. So let's get to the making of it all, and we'll talk about the recipe and all the jazz, where we do. There. Okay, we are making some lotion bars today with sea moss. Now, as I said in the beginning, first step for sea moss lotion bars is you should probably use the powdered sea moss. That said, I don't know that you're going to be able to get away with not putting a preservative in anyway because there's sea moss in it. Now, I did go ahead and wait like a week before posting these videos because all of the cosmetics that I did make, I wanted to make sure that we let sit in open air for at least a week. I think it was 10 days in total to see if anything happened to any of the cosmetics that we are doing. And nothing did. That said, I'm still not 100% on whether or not this particular one was going to be a good idea just because of the nature of the lotion bar itself. But we know things, essentially. We know that when you put like a milk or something into a regular liquid lotion, that if you are preserving it, it should be fine if you are using the powdered variety, etc. and so forth. And so it can be done. That said, I'm still very, untrustworthy of the whole sea moss thing, mostly because it smells bad from the jump. And so I really did, again, want to make sure that we had all of the information that we could possibly give you about putting it into each and every one of these cosmetics, as well as just doing a visual test. Is it developing any nasties? I did go ahead and test them for any sort of bacteria or mold or anything as well. And none of the things that we are doing this week did develop anything. So there is that. That's good to know. Now, for a lotion bar, normally I do a pretty good blend of essentially 40% of your liquid oils and 60% of everything else, everything solid. And then I add in extracts and arrowroot and scent. Now, for the solid oils, I usually use a combination of very, very firm oils. So we're talking, our cocoa butters, as well as some waxes, so a beeswax or a vegan bees or even an e-wax, that could work as well, because e-waxes are primarily built out of cetyl or cetyl alcohol and either like a poly 60 or a poly 20, I forget. I did a video on that. You can go check it out. And then in addition to the hard butters and the waxes, some softer butters. And so your shays, your mangoes, etc., along with the 40% for the liquid oils, which would be a combination of fast penetrating as well as slow penetrating oils, to really give you a balanced bar that is going to be firm to the touch, not melts during shipping, and also is going to melt on contact with your skin, so you can easily rub it on your skin and distribute the delicious butter everywhere and have a nice moisturizing experience. That said, for this particular recipe, since we are going to be including the sea moss gel at a percentage, I went ahead and I adjusted everything else down and also included a preservative. Now, for this one, I am using Germol for the preservative, and 1% of an extract, as well as 1% of the arrowroot powder, and the scent as desired. So that will be just within the ranges of usage for your for whatever scent that you're using. And so make sure that you stay within those ranges. And that will be based off of the total amount of the formulation. The preservative, the extract, and the arrowroot is based off of the total amount of the oils and the butters and the waxes all put together. So with the oils that I've selected for this, I really wanted to give a nice experience of the really leaning into all the benefits of the sea moss itself. And so the hemp is going to be really good for skin clearing. It's going to be really good for damaged skin, for red skin, and so it's going to help out with calming. Avocado is going to be a really good heavy hitter, so it's going to help out with moisture. The vegan bees that I used for this is going to be really excellent for obviously bar hardening, but it's also going to create a nice barrier on the skin. The cocoa butter, again, bar hardening, creates a nice barrier on the skin, helps out with elasticity, and all of the beautiful benefits that come along with cocoa. Shea butter is obviously just going to be a winner across the board because shea is great for everything. It's really good for elasticity. It's really good for brighteners. It's really good for adjusting the overall tone of your, skin and whatnot. And then the mango butter, it is a drier butter that I include in this formulation. I put mango butter in most of my lotion bar formulations because while shea butter is super awesome, it can be a little bit heavy, can be a little bit thick, can be a little bit greasy. And I really want to make sure that we don't end up with an overly greasy bar for, the end user. And so putting in a mango butter, which is a drier butter, I think is a really good way to balance out the recipe for that. Now, the sea moss gel, we've talked about all the benefits there, very antioxidant rich. It has your omegas in it. It's going to be really good for skin brightening. It's going to be good for skin calming, really good for wound healing. And so in totality, looking at all of these ingredients together, this is going to be a really good hydration and repair type lotion bar, which is very good. That's obviously something that we're going to want at all times of the year, And so the extracts that I used with all of this, I ultimately did for, I think, every cosmetic that I did for this week. I did the rose extract and the coffee extract. Now, rose is going to be really good for, again, more skin soothing, skin calming, anti-inflammatory, and the coffee is going to be good for that nice caffeine boost. We really like that, helping plump the skin, keeping everything supple and healthy looking. But the real reason why I was using both of those extracts is because so far we have done and made coffee extracts and rose extracts on the channel this year, in addition to the sea moss. And so that's what we are working with. Now, I'm pretty sure that this blend, I'm using a blend for the actual scent. So it's a blend of Santal plus a Caribbean coconut, both from Sierra Candles, because I love Sierra Candles also very much. And doing the Santal, so you have that really nice like tree, woodsy type scent with that goes into sort of the earthy tones, mixed with the really sweet beauty of the Caribbean coconut. Okay, so we have everything that has been heated up. We have heated everything together, and it is sat at heat for around 20 minutes. I do that because of the shea. Is it necessary? No, it's super not necessary because the shea is blended with so many other things. But just in case, because I have had a situation where I've been working in really, really cold environments where the shea really does re-solidify and gets a little bit grainy unless I let it sit at heat and give it a good mix. And so I just, as a general rule, I melt all the oils down, keep it at heat. And by heat, I mean if you're doing it in your crock pot, just keep it on warm for 20 minutes. If you're heating it up in the microwave, just leave it in there for 20 minutes. Don't open the door, all the jazz. And I am going to use my stir stick again to mix everything in with the whisk attachment. So the arrowroot is going to really well incorporate. But also, did you see in the heated oils, the sea moss was sort of just kind of sitting on the top. And I don't really want it to just sit on the top, because if it's sitting on the top, that means theoretically it could settle to the bottom in weird clumps, and you can see it in the end result. And I don't really want to see that in the finished bar. I do want it sort of suspended throughout the entirety of the lotion bar itself. That said, you could suspend this, or you could actually allow this to cool a little bit before putting in your sea moss or before putting in your additives to help out with the suspension of it. But really, I do want it to be just blended within, so I don't see any sign of it throughout any part of the bar. So this is my thinking. I did go ahead and let this cool down to around 120-ish degrees before putting in my scent and my extracts and my preservative, because the preservative can get a little bit finicky when you are dealing with heat. We want to make sure that it's included at the lower temperatures so it's not effectively rendered inert. And so I did that and mixed it in really well again, another minute or two with the stir stick, with the whisk attachment, to make sure it was all well incorporated before then pouring. And at this point, it's just going to be pouring, leaving it out on the counter, or putting it into the refrigerator or the freezer to firm everything up so you can get it out of the molds. This is not necessary if you are using a silicone mold, but if you are using plastic mold, I highly recommend putting it in the freezer, putting it in, or the fridge, letting it cool down, and then using the whole, the constricting and the expanding of the cold and the heat when you take it out back into room temperature, so the bars will just pop right out. This particular batch is a big batch, but I did give you the percentages because I do that in all of my recipes in order to allow you to adjust all of the ratios to the batch size that you are using. So let's say you just wanted to make a sample bar. So you can totally just plug that in with like a 4-ounce bar or whatever. Obviously convert that to grams, because that gets a little bit tricky when you're dealing with such a small amount, and do a smaller bar for a test. But let's go check out the end result of these. Okay, so on to the reveal, and I did put these in the freezer. They sat for about 20 minutes, and when I flip them over, they're just going to pop right out. You can already see that they've pulled away from the edges very nicely, and so I don't have to worry about losing any of the detail from the mold, because they're not sticking. And so that's definitely a plus for me, and they popped out really beautifully, and I don't see much of anything. There's a little bit of speckling with all of that, and that's something that you can just be fine with, I suppose. Sea moss gel in and of itself, if you use the powdered variety, you would definitely be seeing this, and it might actually have a sort of scratchy-esque feel as you are applying it, in which case I don't super understand the point, because if you're not putting in the water to like hydrate that gel or that dried powder to turn it into a gel, what even is the point? You know what I mean? And so I don't know that using a powder would even work out in any sort of meaningful way, but I don't know. You let me know your thoughts. I don't think that it's going to actually provide any sort of benefit. The gel itself will theoretically provide the benefit, but again, because the gel is hydrated and made using water, you have put water into the solution, which is exactly why you need to put in the preservative. And so it will have a benefit to the skin in this application, but the trade-off is you are now putting a preservative in a bar that would, under normal circumstances, not require one. And so it's kind of up to you. As far as the application, looks really good, feels really great. You know, the formulation was going to be dope no matter what, because my lotion bars are always fire. But there you go. It's a sea moss lotion bar. We're going to go back to my face. We're going to talk more about whether or not I think you should do this, in your line. So let's go do that. So while the total texture of the solid lotion bar was overall very smooth, I really don't like it for this particular application, putting the sea moss in. Because there were little flecks and all of that, and I don't really dig that. And also the idea of putting it in as a dry, it really did solidify just seeing the little flecks that exist within the lotion bar itself now, that doing the dry really doesn't have any benefit. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think it would be a little bit scratchy, a little bit of an exfoliant, which to that you could put in dry form into maybe like a solid sugar scrub. That would be a great idea. Like help out with the exfoliation, but I don't think you're going to really get any benefit from the sea moss in its dry state. Are you going to get any benefit from the sea moss gel in this application? Sure. Fine. I don't think this is the best way to do it, though. I don't really understand the point of putting in a preservative, like doing something to the lotion bar formulation that requires you to put in a preservative when one of the benefits is this is a lotion that does not require one. So take that for what it is. I don't super think that it's the most beneficial in this application. Obviously, let me know what you think. I would lean towards, if you're going to do it in a non-water, solution and formulation, a body butter might be better to do this in, but still keeping with the sea moss gel and not with the dried sea moss. Because if it's not hydrated, I don't super know how this is really going to impart much of anything onto the skin. You still have very hard granules, and as you could tell in all of the tests that we did for the sea moss gel and trying to get it to a gel, a lot of parts stayed really, really firm for a very long time. So I don't think there's much point there. If you used it within a gel formulation within a body butter, that would super work out, and I think it would be more effective than this application. And it would still, however, require that you put a preservative in. But a lot of people put preservatives into their body butters anyway, so that might not be a problem. For me, I do not put preservatives into my body butters, so yeah, it's one more thing I have to remember to put in. So that does suck. Overall, nothing crazy happened. These did sit for about 10 days, along with every other cosmetic that I made for this series, to ensure that we didn't get any sort of rotting, any sort of bacterial growth, anything at all. So with visual inspection, as well as testing them and looking at them under a microscope, did not see anything. So that's very good, Now, for the rest of the week, we are going to be focusing on more cosmetics. We're going to be doing we're going to talk about a serum, but I'm not making a serum. We're going to make a face mask with sea moss, and we are going to make a face cream with sea moss. And I'm going to have to put it on my face. And so that's fun because it smells bad. And also, I have an iodine intolerance. And so kind of nervous about that. But that should be a fun time. The things that I will do to myself for science. We're not testing on animals. We're testing on me. So if you would like to, see those, like, subscribe, comment, do the things, help out with the algorithm, that would be excellent. For the sudsers who already do that, hey, guys, how's it going? How's your first day of May? I hope you guys are having a wonderful May, and it was warmer where you are in the world. It was not warm today for me. It is what it is. So I do appreciate you guys being here. The sudsers are epic. You guys are amazing humans. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being sudsers. All of the jazz. Let me know what you think about sea moss in lotion bars down below. Let's talk about it. There's no right or wrong answer, I don't think. I think there's a wrong answer, and the wrong answer is don't do it without a preservative. But other than that, it could go either way, and I'm open to a discussion. So let's do that thing. I will be back tomorrow for another cosmetic test with the sea moss variety. Again, the thing that I'm not looking forward to, putting it all on my face. But I'm gone for now. I've got so many things to do. We got girls on the run. We're training for a 5K with the girls. Got to go do that. Got to go zoom. But I'll see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of sea moss infused cosmetic, not soapy, soapy fun. Bye.